There are all kinds of shapes of Transformers. I got a few here in front of me. You know, we got the giant ones. We've got triangular shaped Transformers. This one appears to be Optimus Prime shaped. We got whatever the hell shape Skyhammer is. Ooh, check it, we got a tiny shaped one. But, you know, for me, I think the best shape of Transformer is friend shape. And you know what I mean when I say that, right? You know, friend shape. Somebody whose shoulders are like as wide as they are tall. Someone with a kind of dumpy and disarming demeanor about them. You know, friend shaped. I bring this all up because there is no bot who is as absolutely shaped as the bot of today's video, Armorhide. He's chunky, he's tiny, he's incredibly unimposing, and he's definitively friend-shaped. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the figure itself, let's quickly address the elephant in the room. This is not the original 2006 Cybertron Armorhide, but is instead the 2007 Transformers Movie 1 repaint. The original toy came out a year earlier, and his classic colors were this lovely sky blue and gentle silver, which is a huge step away in tone compared to this hardcore Sector 7 black and yellow warning strip highlights with, you know, gunmetal gray, grrr. It's actually pretty funny to me. They really tried as hard as they could to take our little cube-shaped pal here and transform him into a badass, insane war criminal. Like, here, check out this version's packaging. It's got some really ridiculous things on the back of the card here. Let's take a peek. Up against an enemy like Megatron and his followers, the Autobots can't afford to be nice. To Armorhide, this fight is about nothing other than total victory. And the only way that he sees to achieve that is to become as much like the Decepticons as possible. He knows Optimus Prime doesn't approve of his methods, and he doesn't care. Once the Decepticons are wiped out, the historians can argue as long as they'd like about whether his way of fighting this war was right or not, but at least they'll do it in peace and safety and... And does any of that seem right to you? You know, are we looking at the same guy here? That sounds like the way you describe, I don't know, IDW Impactor, or like Arnold Schwarzenegger, not a Scout-sized Cybertron-era toy who turns into a literal, actual rescue vehicle. And speaking of that rescue vehicle, I think it's about time we start looking at Armorhide himself. Armorhide turns into a generic cab-over semi-truck, which design-wise lands somewhere between a 1997 International 9800 cab-over and a 2007 Freightliner Argosy. If you get the camera on this thing at the right angle and toss in a few vaguely within scale mini-cons, it really betrays how small this guy is. I think that's thanks to how detailed this truck is. It's pretty visually impressive at this scale. Every window and headlight are picked out with paint. I love his big gray fender swoop. And a little bit further, I love his fully detailed and fully painted wheels. You know, that's a feature that gets overlooked on some bots who are double his size and budget. Way to go, Armorhide. Now, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, unfortunately. The back half of the truck does get a little bit messy. He's got a bit of an Armada Optimus Prime thing going on here, with both of his hands sticking out of the rear of the bed. Not a great look, but the rest of the bed is clean enough. And hey, look, he even has proper hitch detailing. Though this hitch isn't designed for a trailer, it is for his little tow arm. Now, this is what I was referencing when I called Armorhide a rescue vehicle earlier. His complete vehicle mode is this strange bastardization of a tow and semi-truck. Only major downside about this entire vehicle that I can see is the tow hook. It points inwards. So, you know, even if he actually was large enough to hook onto another car former, you'd have to get pretty creative to actually have him tow anyone. Here I have used the transformation joints on Wild Rider, and I have wedged some dental floss in them. At the very least, the tow arm is sturdy, and it looks the part too. And look, it certainly isn't going to do anything to take away from how great the rest of the truck is. If it really bugs you, you can always just pop it off and toss it into whatever abyss you keep your overflow accessories in. Armorhide's transformation subverts all expectations that come with most semi-truck transformers by literally turning the transformation on its head. The top half of the cab becomes Armorhide's legs. Don't forget to swivel them across this little internal bar here. And the bed of the truck becomes his arms. It's quick, it's tactile, and if I'm picking Armorhide up, I'm finding myself doing his transformation like 3 or 4 times before putting him back down. Armorhide's robot mode is once again cubic and friendly. In fact, that cubist anatomy can almost be a hindrance. You know, he isn't going to be giving you a round of applause anytime soon. The arms are on universal hinges and ball joints, and are detailed with some lovely industrial diamond plating. I really like the pair of wheels that form his collar. It helps break up some of the hard angles up there a bit. Contrary to his boxy body, the legs are almost all smooth angles. His thighs are really basic, but they flow into these giant knee-high stomp boots. I like that there's a transformation step to fold out his feet, considering how absolutely little they accomplish. Armorhide's robot mode has, how do you even describe this? Like, really good parts economy? You know, like every single part of the truck forms a really clean-cut part of the robot with 0 leftovers. He's a very lean operator that way. The only thing I can really point out, if I wanted to, are like, I don't know, the wheels on his arms, but they're the only part that feels a little kibbly. And even then, they feel pretty at home with where they are. Moving on to accessories, Armorhide comes with 2 of them, one of which I am missing, so I'm improvising here, so cut me some slack. He's got a tow arm, which is just a regular tow arm, and it's nothing else, because it's totally not a rifle, it's just a regular tow arm. He's a sweet little guy who would never need a rifle, it's a tow arm. Shit, it's a gun, isn't it? Compared to the original, this version of Armorhide's gun has a teeny tiny Sector 7 badge on it, and beyond that, and its kinda weird barrel tip, all I can really think to say of it is, man, that sure is a gun. And oh wow, he sure can point it at things. Okay, wait, while editing this video, I actually found one thing I can say about the gun, and that is that the package just flat out lies to you about it. The back of the box says that it is a rocket rifle with firing projectile, and that is just a lie. The front barrel of the gun is a solid sculpted piece to the rest of it that's just covered in paint. There's no mechanism or anything. The package is just lying to you. So, there you go. There's one interesting thing about Armorhide's gun. The real surprises start to show up when we introduce Armorhide's Cyber Planet Key, or anyone's key in this situation. Now, Cyber Planet key features they're a real toss-up, because some of them can be massive and impactful. They can be fun and exciting, while others can be not. So I'm happy to report that even at his diminutive size, his gimmick is pretty great. You get this big fold-up panel that reveals a very spicy missile battery. This is the only part of the figure that actually screams badass. The missiles even poke out a little bit when the mechanism's engaged. It's an awesome use of the internal space, again bringing up his amazing parts economy. This is the best kind of gimmick to me. It's the kind where if you forget about it, you wouldn't even know it's there. To me, Armorhide is like collection spackle. You know, he's amazing space filler on any shelf thanks to his tiny size, but hopefully I was able to show you that, you know, he really packs a punch regardless of how big he is. Despite everything that this color scheme and package really want you to believe, Armorhide will never be a badass. Those are just the breaks. But what he will be is a sweet, little friend-shaped semi-truck with a gut full of rockets and a totally normal tow hook. And that's all it is. It's just a normal tow hook, because he would never need a gun. He's just a sweet,
innocent little guy. He doesn't shoot people. He's just, and even if he did shoot people, why would he need a handgun? He's got a gut full of rockets. It's a totally normal. It's just a tow hook. It's a tow hook. It goes in the back of his truck. He can use it to pull people around.